And so when it's go time, it's go time. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm hungry. I don't care if I'm sore. I don't care if the world's falling apart. Like, we're going to pull it together and we're going to do the damn thing.
Actions to achieve the outcome. When you separate yourself from the outcome and you focus on the actions, that's when those non-negotiables that you've set up for yourself happen. Jason Phillips, welcome to the David Nurse Show. Start us off with a bang. Jason, what is something that maybe not everybody knows about you? So we know you are this fitness guru. I mean, this built an amazing online business of coaching, coach Hollywood stars, professional athletes, like ripped. You are what every man wants to be. Let's say that. The jealousy of every man. But tell us something a little bit different about you, Jason.
So I'm going to give you the opposite, right? So I've been on the covers of magazines. I've trained the highest performers in the world. I've spoken on big stages, and now I coach some of the highest performers in the world. But here's the real truth about Jason Phillips. His real core desire is to do nothing but sit on the couch and watch the Golf Channel 24/7. I am the laziest human at heart you will ever meet. I promise you, everyone in my inner circle will tell you, like, I will get the job done. I'll outwork all my competitors. But when left to my own devices, I'm the first person out at night to my room because I just want to be alone and I just want to chill. And if there's nothing going on, guarantee you will find me on the couch watching TV because I just love the mindlessness of it. I get to check out. And, I think there's something to it, though. I think that it allows my mind to wander. I think that I like to think I'm a pretty good thinker. And I think it allows my creativity to go to a place where there's zero boundaries because there's no time commitments. And I allow it just to roll and really become the visions for where I'm going to go. I'll tell you, I built a whole business model when I was moving across the country, driving from Arizona to DC. And literally, I had to do it twice. I had to transport 2 vehicles. I didn't want to pay the vehicle transport because I was a cheap ass at the time. And I on the drive, man, like, obviously not lazy, you're driving, but just that space, right? I was able to conceptualize a whole business model that ultimately ended up doing over 7 figures. And, but yeah, man, that's the thing. They see high performers, they think go, type A. I'm type A in my thoughts, but like, I'm probably type Z in my actions at times.
Yeah, you know what, though? There's some gold to that. A lot of it, actually. What you're doing is you're hyper-focused in the time when you need to be, and then what's called scatter focus. And that's where the creative brain works, when you create margins in your day and in your life. Because think about it, if you were just go, like a lot of high performers, type A people are, you don't have the space to create. And that's a massive roadblock for people. And I know I have a few friends that I really respect, like yourself, where when things need to be done, they will outwork you to the T. But when they're going to chill, they will out-chill you to the T.
Amen.
So
Amen,
I
bro.
love that. And I think more people need that flow. And it's vilified in society because you got to be going. So love that. Love it, Jason. Can we speak to that mindset of, like, how do you turn on that switch? Let's say you're watching Netflix, but how do you go from 0 to 100?
So, one of my favorite feelings in the world, it's getting a great night's sleep on cozy and comfortable sheets and blankets. And for me and my wife, that is absolutely Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth, more comfortable than cotton. It's made from bamboo. And get this, it has been featured on Oprah's favorites list. Favorites list for the last 4 years in a row. They even give a 100-night sleep test. It means you can try them out for 100 nights, and if you don't like it, you get fully refunded. It's high quality, so cozy, so comfy, you won't want to get out of bed. And now I teach people to just jump out of bed. But with Cozy Earth, you ain't going to want to get out of bed. And what they're doing for my listeners is incredible. Never been done before. 40% off. Are you kidding me? 40% off? If you go to Cozy Earth, COZY Earth, cozyearth.com and enter the code DavidNurse40 at checkout. That is DavidNurse40. You will get 40% off the best covers, the best sheets you've ever had in your life. Trust me, you will absolutely love these. You'll probably be sleeping in the next time I do a podcast. Check them out, cozyearth.com, DavidNurse40 for your special discount.
Yeah, there's really no option. I put myself in a position where there's no option. The alternative is not having what I have, not achieving what I achieve, and not delivering the impact that I deliver. And so it's either we do that or we don't do that, and there's no middle ground. It's not half impact, it's not half action, it's not half outcomes. It's either all or nothing. And some people will say that's a bad mindset, but it's not really the mindset of the outcomes, it's the mindset of the actions to achieve the outcomes, right? And so I think that so many people are like, well, I can't be all or nothing. Well, you can be with your actions, right? Now, once you take the actions, you need to, obviously course correct in the journey and ultimately get to an outcome that you desire. And let's be honest, outcomes are sometimes not even real things in and of themselves. That's a whole nother discussion, right? But it's one of those things where I have a daughter that depends on me. I have a mother that depends on me. I have family that depends on me. I have a team that depends on me. And so if I don't do it, they lose. And I'm not okay with other people losing because of my inability to take actions. I also remember being the broke kid that couldn't afford coffee on Thanksgiving in 2014. And I don't ever want to go back to that space ever again. And so I either go there or I go to where my life is heading now. And so when it's go time, it's go time. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm hungry. I don't care if I'm sore. I don't care if the world's falling apart. Like, we're going to pull it together and we're going to do the damn thing.
Actions to achieve the outcome. When you separate yourself from the outcome and you focus on the actions, that's when those non-negotiables that you've set up for yourself happens. Gold, man. That's beautiful. All right. So there are 9 action archetypes, reasons why people hold themselves back from achieving what they set out to do. So in this question, was there something that held you back of an action archetype that held you back? Or you can answer it in the way of, is there something that you need to overcome today to unlock the next level of your life?
It's funny, man. I think that at different levels, I've had to overcome different components.
Yeah.
And so, as I you sent me these 9 and I looked at them, and I think that in the very beginning, there's one, the scarciest, right? I had this scarcity mindset that, I grew up in a very middle-class house and success wasn't for us. And my dad's favorite quote was, that's pie in the sky. And I would hear that all the time. And I didn't want to believe it, but it was put in front of me all the time. And so, every time I would start and I wouldn't become successful overnight, because, we all have these ridiculous timelines that we think achievements should happen on. I was like, oh, well, maybe he's right. Maybe it is pie in the sky. And then, I overcame that and I created initial success. And then I think that, as with most entrepreneurs, you create this level of success and then you believe your own hype and I think you should believe your own hype, but you do it and it shows the wrong way. And meaning, like, I became this nutrition coach and I was building this coaching company. And because I had built this multi-million-dollar coaching company, I could build any company. And so people are coming to me and they're like, will you do this? And I'm like, sure, give me equity. And I'm like, who am I to build a fund at this point? So now I'm distracted, right? If I would have put all my time and energy and effort into the thing that had gotten me here, I could have grown that quicker. And so I think that was a part of where I got. Then I look at periods of time and there's the burned, right? And I've had failures in my life and I'm not the person that's ever going to be, I'm not going to tell you it's not scary. Somebody in my coaching group today said, hey, is anybody in here ever afraid when they put their free coaching offer out that no one's going to want to work with them for free? Because how awful of a feeling is that? And I'm like, I do 8 figures and I still feel that same fear, right? So I think those are probably the 3 biggest examples that I could give you. But I think that honestly, if you asked me something people don't know about me and I said that I'm a lazy human, I think the other thing that I would lean into is I operate with as much fear as probably any other human. And I think that a lot of people think high level entrepreneurs have zero fears. I actually think like the real secret sauce is we just move through them, right? I don't think we have any less fears than anyone else. And so I think that's embedded into who I am. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe entrepreneurs don't, but I certainly do. And the level I've gotten to, I have a lot of it. I've just learned to move through it and cope with it.
Okay, so what I'm about to tell you is going to literally blow your mind. It did mine. For a month now, I have been trying out GoExec. I'm going to tell you what this is. So, just to preface, I always look for the extra added advantage, the 1% edge. And usually it's something physical or, it's something mental, but I've never found the balance of the two. And it's crazy because as being a type A, very driven person, and I want to just have great impact, I don't get a whole lot of sleep. I work a lot of hours. There is stress, frequent travel. I mean, raise your hand if you can, you really relate to that. But what GoExec is doing is the mental and physical balance. Now, they've bridged the gap between mental health, physical health, high quality, scientifically formulated nutraceuticals. So let's have an ingredient spotlight here. BioPQQ. You know what that is? Yeah, I didn't either, but now I do. Energy, endurance, and longevity. Scientifically shown to slow the aging process, increase energy levels, and improve cognitive function. It has won award after award for the best ingredients that are used for the mental and physical performance of best science. PQQ is naturally occurring essential nutrient found in foods such as kiwi, green peppers, potatoes, tofu, and green tea. So what GoExec is doing, they're putting this into pill form, and you literally, physically, and mentally are more focused, less stress, longevity, you're on fire. It's been great for me. And for me, being a high performer, it's tough to see the change a lot, but I actually have been feeling it. And what GoExec is doing, because they are so cool, awesome people over there at goexec.com, GOEXEC.com, stands for Go Execute, 20% off. David Nurse 20 is going to be your code. David Nurse 20 at checkout. GoExec.com. Trust me, you're going to be on fire like I am. Go check it out right now.
Jason, that was such a well said answer, because it is different times in our lives, different seasons of our life. But the point you hit at the end is, I think, the biggest issue that holds people back is fear is not debilitating. Fear should be a driver. Fear shouldn't be the, hey, like I have this fear, so I can't do it. It should be fear as the fire, the igniter that's burning. And you just, elegantly spoke to all that in different levels. And it's great to see someone like people listening to this, see how successful you have been. And then, oh, Jason is still struggling from things. He doesn't have it all together. Whoa, no way. That's crazy. And you'd be the first to admit that you don't. So, man, that's a beautiful, beautiful answer. Is there something in your life coming up that you're looking forward to? Is there something that you're like, man, if I really just take away this distracted, because you are getting a lot of very, very good ideas. So what is the next big thing in your life that you're working on?
Man, this is such a good question for where I'm at in life, because it drives so much of my daily deep thought. So 2022, I had my first offer to buy my current company. We're 8-figure top line. Obviously, there's a very high 8-figure exit. I don't know how you are, but you get an offer like that, there's a big number at the bottom. I don't know if you've ever been through diligence on something. Diligence sucks, but while you're going through diligence, you're literally putting yourself into the position post sale, and you're starting to wonder what life looks like. And I had 6 months to think about that. And I was like, I could do this, I could do this. Now, the crazy part is I ultimately decided not to go through with the sale. So I still own the company. We're still talking to some people that want to buy us. But right now, man, I got a 9-figure vision on this company. But I also still have thoughts of what life looked like post-transaction and all the things I could do. And I would argue those things are very distracting, and they knock at the door of distraction inside of my head every single day. And for me, we talked about the golf thing offline before this.
Yeah.
I love the golf space, and I see so much room for monetization in that space. I feel like it's so poorly done right now. And that's not a knock on anyone in specific. I just think that golf as a sport has trended positively so well the last 10 years. I think the rise of the influencer game in golf is getting there. Ben Baller, J.R. Smith, and Stephen Malvin just launched a podcast. And you start to see people are getting into the space, but no one's monetizing it at the level that I've seen people do in fitness. And I'm like, man, it's not that much more difficult. So I always look at it, obviously my inner circle, we all love to golf a lot. And so we're always tossing out ideas. That's the big distraction. But I promise you, if I ever exit NCI, you'll see me in the golf space real soon. And I promise you I'll smash it in the golf space just like we did in nutrition.
I love that. So Jason, off the cuff here, as this is what I do, listen to people tell me their goals and dreams and how to take action on it. Are you more passionate, and he doesn't know this is coming at him, guys, are you more passionate about the golf space or the fitness space? Do you think you can make more change in golf than you can fitness? And do you wake up more excited about golf than you do fitness? Or is it vice versa?
100% golf over fitness. Like, that's not even a question. The question I would say is, am I more passionate about launching a company in the golf space or continuing the impact I've created in the nutrition side? And I don't know that. I would say it's different every day. But if we're talking about like, am I excited to go work out or am I excited to go golf? Like, dude, I got a simulator in my garage. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to go anywhere. Like, all I need is a golf club. I need a good sim, some good weather to get out on the course. Like, it's not hard to make me happy. I'm a simple human. My daughter is starting to like golf, and it's like, yo, life's good, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 8 figures compared to 9 figures, it's probably not going to change your life a whole lot. But is the difference of time spent on the business, fitness, or golf? Because I know, like, also successful entrepreneurs, business people, when you create a system, which you have done, the system for how to start a business, launch a business, grow a business, you can really plug and play those into basically anything that you decide to do. So
I agree. And that's where the confidence in going to the golf space comes from. Yep.
Yeah. And
so I'll be candid. I'll be candid with you. The biggest kind of decision that I play with is, do I exit and take slightly less than I know we can achieve, which it's a very real option, which I'm totally okay with, by the way. I'm not like ultra greedy when it comes to that. Or 2, do I hire a CEO and run it, ascend to board, allow it to continue to grow in my vision, and then move? Those are 2 plays that I think about all the time.
Oof. This is interesting, man. I would love to talk more to you personally about this.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I would welcome the conversation and input, because honestly, like, I would say it dominates 75% of my like deep thought time, because like we talked about before we even started this podcast, man, like, A, life is short. B, I don't ever want to do things that I just don't want to do. And like, I love the golf space every single day. I got to spend a lot of time at like the Live Tour stuff last year. I sponsored James Pyatt last year.
Cool.
And so I spent a good amount of time with him. And man, like, you'll see, you and I will play 18 holes and you'll never see a happier human being in your life.
I love it, dude.
If I shoot 65 or 75, you'll know it because I'm passionate, but you'll never see a happier human being in your life.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, everybody listening is thinking like, wow, that's great problems to have, Jason. Well, he created these problems, quote unquote, by taking action and being a constant learner and grow. So it's not just Jason was gifted. You weren't gifted any of this. You made it happen. You took action day after day after day. Like, you did not. And that's what people have to understand. You're not just given a silver spoon. Take action, keep going, just like Jason is saying. And as a high performer like you are, what are you continually doing to grow yourself? Like, do you have any secret sauce? Like, this is my non-negotiable habits I got to hit. This is books I'm reading, like beyond the, hey, I do a morning routine and I take cold showers?
So I don't have a morning routine, and like that, I'm sure that flies in the face of like all the people that talk about fucking high performers. But like my morning routine is like get coffee and get to work because that's my best thoughts happen in the morning. So I feel like the longer I prolong getting to work, the worse I'm going to be. I'm not saying that's for everybody, and I'm not saying morning routines aren't productive for some people. That's just me. Um, I would say there's a couple of staples that I always have in my life. I always have a mentor. Always, always, always. Like when I was poor in my 20s, I knew I needed a mentor. And so, right now I spend $1 million plus annually on mentorship
Awesome.
because I believe in it, right? People have been where I want to go. They've done what I want to do. They have life experience that I can learn from. Even if it's not something I'll encounter, the lessons they've learned will probably become valuable in my life. And I love the networking component of it, man. Like I love to meet good people like yourself. And obviously, it puts you in the room. I tell everybody, get in the room, like get in the network because you never know A, who you can help, but B, who can help you. And so that is a staple. B for me is physical fitness. While my passion for golf supersedes physical fitness, I'll never find myself in a place where I'm feeling out of shape. When I don't feel well, I can't perform well. And I believe that I want to perform at the highest level as long as possible in every aspect of my life. And so I want to set a great example for my daughter. I want to be around as long as I can for her, but I also want to be able to lead everybody in my life. And then, the third, man, is, and you know this about me to this point, man, family over everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you could do for me to sacrifice the time with my family. There's one rule I made for myself in 23, and it's that I will wake my daughter up every day. I will take her to school every day. I'll pick her up from school every day, and I will tuck her into bed every night. And
Mm.
no business decision will be made that takes those things away from me. Not a single business decision will be made. And so, man, like she's 4.5 years old. She's got to do some really cool stuff. Like, we've done the VIP tours at Disney. She's going to Hawaii this summer. She's been the behind the scenes of SeaWorld. She's done all the princess stuff in New York. Like, you name it, she's probably done it. But like, these are the experiences that I want her to feel. It's not about how many toys she has in her toy room
Mm.
or, anything like that. It's like her and dad have so many experiences that she always talks about. And it's like, man, like, if God called tomorrow and my time is done, I know that I know every day was well spent, and so that's it, man. Like that's the center
So,
of me.
so good. It's one of the best segments I've ever heard. I've got goosebumps over here. That is everything. And you were oozing talking about your daughter before we got on the podcast. And I got to let you out of here so you can go pick her up so I don't break that streak. But
Good.
man, have a mentor, get in the room. Really, the only way great things happen is by other people, by relationships. It's the only way
That's it.
life is fun too. Like dialing in this relationship, man. Like this is something that is going to grow and bud into something great. Physical fitness. I know you're jacked out of your mind. Selfish question. Are you doing anything specific on your nutrition? Do you have any
You
go-to?
know what? So here's the reality. I've done this. So if anybody knows my story, former anorexic, right? I started anorexia and I've gotten
Yep.
to where I've gotten. And so, not to get into a rabbit hole on that, I don't firmly believe you ever overcome eating disorders. I think you channel them better, right? I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm not a psychologist, but that's my own personal experience in the dietary world. That being said, I have honed in my connection to food and its function in my life for 20 years. And so to say I do anything specific would be misguided outside of everything I do is specific relative to how I feel, right?
Yeah.
And
Great.
so
Great.
I don't have a diet, I don't follow
Good.
macros, but I'm always hyper aware. Like
Yep.
I could tell, I mean, perfect example, bro. I woke up this morning, I left at 4:45, I drove up to Philly, I did a podcast, I turned around, I drove back, knocked out some work. We're doing this. I'll go get my daughter. I could tell you I had breakfast sandwiches from Starbucks on the way. I had some protein bars on the way back. I'm about to have like a little small snack after this. We'll do family dinner tonight. I end every night like here's the thing. Here's the sound bite. I end every night with 2 chocolate chip cookies because if I can't have chocolate chip cookies in my life, bro, then I don't want to live. But That's it, man.
Awesome, man.
On the training side, I give a shout out to my boy Luca Hosever. Luca keeps me dialed in. Man, I'll tell you, him and I just linked. Like we've all been good friends, but we just linked up in terms of him taking over my programming recently, and the golf games are real. So I'll give a quick shout out to my boy.
Hey, I love it. I mean, that's just discipline equals freedom. You've been doing it for a long time. You've learned on it. Discipline equals freedom, allowing you to have those cookies at night. Dude, you just became even cooler in my book. Like you're the guy everybody wants to be, and you get to have chocolate chip cookies. And
Every
just
night, bro.
hey, he was an Abercrombie model, which is every kid's dream growing up in the 2000s and 90s, and you accomplished it. Jason, you're the best, man. How can we follow everything you are doing, support you, stalk you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, man. Instagram's always the best. I think that's where I'm most active. So at NCI _ CEO _ Jason. Fastest way to get to me, man. If I can help you in any way, please send me a message. I think you'll attest to this. I try to be fast, but I always hit you back. Like no matter what, like I am of the belief, man. Like when I was on the come up, I wanted people that I could reach out to that would help. And if you're ahead of me and you need my help with something, I'm happy to. If you're behind me and I can pull you up in any way, like reach out. Like I firmly believe like we should all just be doing our part in elevating success.
And you mean that. I've had a lot of people say that, but I've seen it. You mean I hit you up on a DM because I heard you on a podcast. I'm like, this guy is fascinating. And right then, yeah, and here we are. So Jason, the last question before we get you out of here, go pick up your daughter. If someone was stuck, couldn't see any hope for the future, what is a piece of advice, maybe it's a drop the mic word or a saying, to help them understand that they can take action and go do it?
Well, here's the reality. I mean, you have two choices. You can stay stuck or you can move. And you're staying stuck is going to deliver what you're currently receiving.
Oof,
and
good.
moving has two potential outcomes. And here's the beauty of it. It might get worse, but it might get better. And so the reality is, are you willing to take that chance, right? You already know what unhappiness looks like. You're stuck. You already know that. So why not go in pursuit of finding out what happiness or what success or whatever the outcome you're pursuing, why not go and find out what that might look like? You already have tangible evidence of what the downside looks like. But what you don't have is what's on the upside, and all it requires is a small amount of action. Nobody said you had to get to the outcome overnight. Everybody said you just got to get one step closer. And when you stop putting time constraints or deadlines on your goals, and you just simply take an action every single day and you move a little bit further and a little bit closer, man, like you can't be stopped.
Dude, that's so good. People think, hey, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does work? Take the action. Jason Phillips, you are amazing. Man, this has been such an honor of getting 35 minutes of your time for questions I selfishly want to know. So thank you, brother. We will be promoting this everywhere. And if I can do anything for you, I'm always in your corner.
Dude, I appreciate you, man. And I look forward to seeing you on the golf course real soon.